everyone, and welcome back to class. I really want to appreciate those that like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. And for those that are yet to do that, please go and do that right now. Okay, thank you so much. So in today's class, we'll be doing the sewing aspects of the tutorial. So I've gone ahead to sew down the side of my trouser, both sides, the back and the front. This is the back. You differentiate the back by the extension and the wideness. So this is the front. So I sewed both sides together. Okay, I'm here to sew down the crotch line. So this is what you'll be doing first. You sew it down and go ahead and interlock the edges, the rough edges. Okay, so the next thing now is the pocket part. Remember, the pocket we cut out 10 by 10 on fold. So this is what I have. We are making two styles of a pocket, the puffy pocket and the normal pocket. This one will be at the down part, while this one will be at the upper part. So I've gone ahead to sew it down and also fold the side parts and the down part so that it will be easy for me to sew with. Okay, so the next thing, there's a little bit of correction here. So because of the puffness, I've gone ahead to sew the pocket, the upper part of the pocket. So you can see that this one is wider than this part. Okay, the reason being is that we are making a puffy pocket. I'm still going to be adding a material to this part, so to bring out the beauty of the pocket we are making. So I have to go ahead and reduce it. You can see if I place this on it, I shouldn't have been showing you all of this, but you know, behind the scene of online tutorials, sometimes there's a little mistake, and if I did not correct this and I just leave it, okay, go and do your own by yourself, you'll not be getting the same result as what I am getting. So this is vulnerability now that I'm telling you. Sometimes there's a mistake, so I need to carry you along. So you can see that this one is wider than this one, so I've reduced it by half an inch. Is it half an inch or more than half an inch? So I reduced it because I'll still be adding some materials to it. Okay, I reduced it by 0.6. okay, so I'll go ahead now and cut out this part. So you too, you should also do the same thing on your pocket so that you have good results of what we are trying to do. Okay, so now this is it. So I'll bring out the front part, the circle that I've sewn down. So this is it here. This line might give me the center line, the sewing part give me the center line. So I will mark 12 inches from the top, 12 inches. So this is where my pocket will be starting from, 12 inches. I'll mark it out, and I've gone ahead to iron it out to get the middle parts. So I'll introduce these pockets on this pants like so. You can pin it down, let the middle point matches up with the sewing line here. Okay, so I'll use my chalk. You can pin it down if you want so that it will be stable. So I'll use my chalk to mark out the lines here. That's the pocket. Okay, so this is what I have. So I'll keep this aside and work with this pocket. Don't forget, you use this pocket to trace out the line on the pants. Okay, so I'll keep this aside and we'll continue. Okay, so you cut out a stripe of 2 inches and make sure it is wide. There's no particular length for this, just make sure you have enough material to work with. So this is my stripe. Then I'll go ahead and fold this part down, just fold it down like this. Then I'll sew it round the edges like this, round the edges. Okay, sure it's aligned. So once you get to this sharp corner, make sure that your needle is inside. Then you raise it up and turn it over like this. Then you continue your sewing. Do the same thing, you raise it up, then you continue, you turn it and you continue. Sorry about that. Okay, so after sewing, this is what you should have. You can see I've gone ahead to sew everything. So this is what it should look like. Then you fold it over like this. Once you fold it over, this is what you should have. You can go ahead and iron it down. So this is what you should have. Then you bring back your side parts you want to sew, the pocket parts. So now you're going to be sewing on this line you drew out. That is where you'll be sewing on. So you fold this part a little bit, like 3/4 of an inch. Then you start your sewing from the line. Okay. That's the extension you added to it. That's 2 inches stripe. And if you want yours to be puffy than this, you can add more excess to the stripe because you can cut out like 3 inches and more. So the line should be your guide, okay? So once you get here, you turn it again and you continue your sewing by folding these parts inside. Okay, so after sewing, this is what you should have. You can see what I have here. You can see this is what you should give you. So then the last, okay, so the next thing to do now is to match up this line, this sewing part, the extension part. You match it up with the part you sewed down, just like this. Just fold it, and before you do that, just cut out the excess allowances inside so that the piece will not be bulky. Just cut it out a little bit. Then you fold it like this. You can see the way I'm folding it. You can use your pressing iron to do that. Then you fold it over like so. Let it match up. Then you sew it down with 1.5 inches. That's the upper parts, right? You sew it down with 1.5 inches, and you can extend it if you want. Okay, I've sewn it down with 1.5 inches. This is it from here to here. Then I'll go ahead and do this part also. You fold it like this, just same thing you did there, and also sew it down. Okay, so I've sewn the two part down, and this is what I have. So you can see how puffy is looking. So if you want yours to be more puffy than this, you just add to the extension and you follow the process of how we sew it down. So the next thing now is to introduce our pocket. So for your pocket, you measure what you have here. Here I have 8 inches. Then I'll be cutting out 9 inches. You sew it down on both sides, ½ inch on both sides. I'm gonna head to cut it out. This is 9 inches before folding, before sewing it. So after sewing it, I should have 8 inches. Then you introduce it to your pocket like this. You can see that it matches up. Then you sew it down just closer to the pocket, not too far from the pocket opening. Okay, so this is what you should have. Let it match up with this, then you sew it down. So this is what I have, and make sure you knit up all your work, all the excess thread, you cut it out. So this is what you should have after sewing. Then I'll go ahead and iron it down. Then for the other pocket, the down pocket, I've gone ahead to fix that because of time, so that the video will not be too lengthy. So what I do is that I measure 8 inches from here, from where my pocket stops here. I measure 8 inches downward there. This is what I have, and I pin it down, the folding parts, the midpoint of the pocket and the midpoint of this one. Then I go ahead and sew it round like so, and this is what we have. You can add your pocket cover for this if you want, but if not, just leave it like this. So the next thing to do now is to join it together, which I'll be doing behind the camera. I'll join the crotch line together and also close it up. Then we'll come back and do the band parts. Okay, so for the elastic parts, remember we've cut out the band 5 inches. That's 2.5 inch on fold by 45 inches. That is the whole length of the Ankara I'm working with. Then for my elastic band, my waist is 30 inches. I've cut it out already, 30 inches. So 30, I'll deduct 5 inches from the 30 inches. So that's 30 minus 5, I have 25 inches. With any waist you are working with, remove 5 inches from the waistline to cut out your elastic. So that will be your elastic inches. Okay, so my waist is 30 minus 5, I have 25. So I went ahead to cut out 26 inches because I'm still going to be sewing it down. Then for the band, after you are done sewing your pants, you measure the waist area. So what you have there, you should cut out your band width. So for me, I have the waist of 45 inches on my trouser. That's the waist area, the waist circumference of the trouser, not my own circumference, waist circumference now. Okay, so here I have 45 inches for the Ankara. So I'll fold it together like so, the right side facing each other. Then I'll sew it down with ½ an inch. Remember, I have 44 inches and here is 45 inches. So I'll fold it down, sew it down rather, ½ an inch. Okay, and if you have something like this, if you are sewing, I don't like the writing showing on any of my clothes I'm making. So that's why I'm using this as the guide to sew it down. Then for the elastic, I'll do the same thing, fold it up and sew it down with ½ an inch. Okay, So this is what I have. So after that, after sewing it down, I'll just go ahead and iron it. Gone ahead to iron down the band. This is what I have. So the joining part is what I'm using as my midpoint, and remember there will be a jogger's rope inside. So I just went ahead to sew this part. You open it up like this, so measure 1 inch from here, from the midpoint here to this part, then just create a passage for the jogger's rope on both sides. So I've done this one, so I'll go ahead now and do this one. So the jogger's passage rope should not be up to 1 inch. I just use my eye to gauge it. And if you're not using Ankara, you can use eyelets for these parts. You can use eyelets, and if you want me to teach you on how to use eyelets for these parts and sew a stylish joggers, that will be on a paid class. So I'll show you every detail of how to use eyelets as the joggers opening. But for this, we are just creating manual passage for the rope. You can see that I open it up, so I use this joining as my midpoint. So I don't want it to shift, so that's why I use here as my midpoint. So if you don't want to use it, this can be at the back, then you find the midpoints of the other part. Okay, so this is what I have. And this is what you should have. This should be the midpoint. So I'm here to open it up. After sewing, I will open up the band part, the old part rather. So this is my elastic. So after sewing, you're going to cut out the excess so that it will not be bulky in the band. Okay, so I'll pick this and just attach it here. This is the midpoint. So make sure that the elastic stops there. It should not exceed that part. Okay, now just go ahead and sew it down like this. So the band, the elastic is inside. Now I'm just sewing the band part. So it shouldn't be up to half an inch, just a little bit of an inch. That's what you should use to sew it. Okay, as you are sewing, remember that the elastic is smaller than the band, so you need to stretch the elastic so that your band will be straight. Okay, while sewing, so just be stretching the elastic part. Okay, so once you are done sewing, this is what you should have. You can see this is my band. So the next thing now is for me to match up the band. Let it match up with this place. You push it up a little bit like so. Then you started so. Don't sew on the whole area, just a little bit ahead. Then you pull it as much as possible. Pull the band. Remember, there's an elastic inside now. Use your hand as the guide so that the elastic matches up here. Okay. Then you pull as you are sewing. This part did not stretch, so I'm going to lose this part up and re-sew it. You can see, look at where the stretch starts from. So this part I'm going to be losing it, because this part needs to look like this. So I'll lose it and do it behind the camera, then I'll show you. Okay, so this is what I have. This is the first line, then this is the second line. I hope you can see the joggers opening here. I'm here to open it up. This is it here. So this will serve as the midpoint of the band. Okay, so now I'll bring my pants, because this one will be in front, the joggers part, the joggers rope will be in front. So I'll bring this one. This is the front part, this is the midpoint here. Then you look for the joggers part, the opening. Sorry, I'm not seeing it again though. It. So this is the, now this will serve as the right part. So if you fix it like this, the joggers will be inside, the rope will be inside. So you turn it over, this will be now serve as the right part. Then you match it up, this midpoint and this part. You make sure it matches up together. Then you start sewing. You sew with half an inch. And while sewing, you'll be pulling the band. Know that the band is now smaller to the waist of the pants, so you'll be pulling it so that it can align together. So I'm done fixing it. This is what I have. You can see how beautiful our pants is looking already. Now I'll go ahead and open up the joggers rope part. You can, after opening, you can just light it up and burn this edges so that it will look neat. Or if not, just leave it like that so that you won't go and burn your outfit. Okay, so this is what you should have. So remember, I use the elastic of 2 inches for the elastic band. Okay, so I use elastic of 2 inches, and this is my rope. This is the rope I'm using. I cut out, is it 40 or 45 inches? Okay, I cut out 45 inches. Then this is my jogger accessories. I don't know the name, so you get to the market and show them that you want to buy it, and if you don't have it, just leave it like that. You just tie your joggers rope and we are good to go. So the next thing now is for me to insert this inside, then you bring it out at the other part. Then we are almost done. You go ahead and fold down the down part, and boom, we are done with our part. So after all that, folding the down part and putting my joggers rope, then I'll come back and show you how it looks like. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is the end result. So I'm putting it on the mannequin. You can see the joggers band. Then this is the pocket. I hope you can see it well. This is the pocket. I want to put my hand for you to see it. Then the other one. Then the folding. So this is everything. This is the outcome of the cargo pants we made. You can see the feet of the pocket. Is because I'm using Ankara, so you're not seeing the puffness very well, but you can still see it now. So this is what I have. You can see. So I'll be expecting your own practical also. Thank you so much. Bye.